bit light. Move to the side there. Oh, let's see what happens if we turn it here. Alright, since the first couple minutes of my video is the most watched, I just wanted to let everybody know that come fight day on Saturday, if you come here to watch the fights and you watch this video for approximately 120 seconds, link will pop up in the video right about here where I'm pointing at. And that link will take you to the fights. All you gotta do is watch this video for about 2 minutes, and a link to the fight will appear, and you'll get to see the fights. So, just a little sneak preview for what is to come. And now we will jump into the main card. Now this card's not going to be. Let me just check the sound. Make sure I'm not talking to myself here. This card is not going to be this weekend. It'll be the following weekend. So that would be, I think, June 5th. And it's going to be Rozenstruik versus Augusto Sakai. The main card will be kicking off Tom Barris versus Antonio Arroyo. Barris 12-3, 5-3 in the UFC. His 3 losses are split decision to Sean Strickland, TKO to Brandon Allen, and submission to Mario Akhmedov. All top-level competition. Akhmedov, a great grappler. Brandon Allen, power in his hands, also a great jiu-jitsu player. And Sean Strickland, of course, in his last few fights, showing that he is very well deserving of a top 10 spot in the welterweight division. 11 out of 12 of Barris's wins are via finish, 6 submissions, 5 knockouts. He's going against Antonio Arroyo, who is 9-4, 0-2 in the UFC, losing a decision to Andre Muniz and Darren Wynn. He's 8-9. 8 out of 9 of his wins via finish, 4 submissions, 4 knockouts. Never been knocked out in his career, only has 1 submission loss. Oh, no, he's been submitted in 2 out of 4 of his losses. Sorry, 50% of his losses are coming to submission. I think minus 220 is right dead on par for Tom Barris. I think Tom Barris is, obviously a top 15 talent, but he's climbing. He's rising, ascending, and Aurora's had somewhat of a rough go in the UFC. So I'm going to go Tom Barris here. Santiago Ponzinio versus Miguel Beza. Ponzinio not doing too well since his 2-year layoff, 0-1. Not lost by knockout to Li Jingliang. He's 27-4 overall. 15 out of his 27 wins via knockout. 3 out of 4 of his losses via knockout as well. He's 9-3 in the UFC. He's got key wins over Sean Strickland, Gunnar Nelson, Mike Perry, and Neil Magny. He's going against Miguel Beza, who is 10-0, 3-0 in the UFC, with a knockout over Hector Aldana and Matt Brown, and then a submission win over Takashi Sato. 7 out of 10 of his wins via knockout, and he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I think this fight is going to be standing for a good bit. I think if Ponzinio is a great counter striker, so I think if Ponzinio starts to get the better of Beza standing up, Beza's going to be quick to take him down, and I think if the fight goes to the ground, Miguel Beza is far better than Santiago Ponzinio on the ground, and we'll be able to submit him later in the round. So I'm going to go Miguel Beza. I think he's got a slight height advantage, same reach, some shit like that. So very close in size. I think the key is going to be the ground game in this one. Roman Delate is taking on Lurinaro Strapoli. Delate is 8-1, lost his last fight via decision to Trevin Giles. That was in March. 2-1 in the UFC, 7 out of 8 of his wins via finish, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's going to come into the fight with a 1-inch height and a 4.5-inch reach advantage over Strapoli, who's coming in on short notice, let me mention as well. Strapoli's 9-3, 2-2 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now with decision losses to Muslim Sokolov and Tim Means. He's got 2 decision wins in the UFC over Hector Aldana and Thiago Alves. 7 out of 9 of his wins via finish, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. Never been submitted in his career. Doesn't have to worry about submission here in this fight. Roman Delate is going to stand and bang with him. Got a lot of power in his hands, Delate. And he's fought to what I think is more young, hungrier competition in the UFC. He also only has 1 loss, and he's going to come in with a significant reach advantage. And if they're both strikers coming in with a significant reach advantage, I think the power is going to be able to land. I'm going to go easy Roman Delate there. no question. I have to pick 3 locks for this card, and I won't do it probably until the Friday before or the morning of the fight or something like that. But right now, coming in at plus 130, the thing that I'm doing, you pick 3 locks, and if you pick an underdog, you get an extra life. So that if that stays plus 130, I'm going to definitely get an extra life there with the Latze, I believe. So I'm going to go him. Walt Harris versus Marcin Taibora. Harris 13-9-1. All 13 of his wins via knockouts. He's currently on a 2-fight losing streak right now with losses to Alistair Overeem and Alexander Volkov. He's 6-8-1 in the UFC. Key wins over Alexei Oleinik, Sergey Spivak, and Chase Sherman. Everybody praises Walt Harris. He's got knockout power. He does. He's got, crazy power in his hands. He has a problem with cardio. He has a problem with grappling. He's going up against Taibora, who's 21-6, 4 out of 6 of his losses are knockouts. Plays right into Walt Harris's hands there. He's on a 4-fight winning streak right now with decision wins over Sergey Spivak, Maxim Grisham, and Ben Rothwell, and then a knockout in his last fight over Greg Hardy. He's 8-5 in the UFC. He's on way, way better of an upside right now than Walt Harris. Walt Harris, over the time of his career in the UFC, has kind of shown that he can kind of knock his way. He can knock out guys, 15 through 10 outside of the top 15. When he gets to fight those guys, top level guys, Alistair Overeem, Alexander Volkov, guys like that, he loses. He gets outworked. His cardio starts to show holes in his game. Alistair Overeem was able to grapple with him and hold him down and finish him on the ground. So, a lot of holes in Walt Harris's game, and you gotta hope that he fixed them. If he did, he's got a really good shot at knocking out Marcin Taibora because what's 4 out of 6? That's at least 80, 78, 80 something percent of his losses are coming via knockout. So he's got a great chance. But Marcin Taibora taking him to the ground and being able to outwork him. And also, Taibora's got power too. So I wouldn't put it past Taibora getting a knockout as well. So I'm going to go Marcin Taibora. I think he's got more paths to victory. Jonizo Rozenstruik versus Augusto Sakai is going to be a great fight. Rozenstruik 76-8 as a pro kickboxer, 11-2 as a pro mixed martial artist. He lost 2 out of his last 3 fights with a knockout loss to Francis Ngannou and then a decision loss in his last fight to Cyril Gane. 10 out of 11 of his wins via knockout, 5-2 in the UFC. He's got key wins over Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem, Andrei Arlovski, and Junior Albini, which Andrei Arlovski and Junior Albini we actually watched in person, me and my friends, Greenville, and then I think Raleigh. Sakai is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, 15-2-1, 4-1 in the UFC. Lost his last fight via TKO to Alistair Overeem. Got key wins over Blagna Ivanov, split decision, Marcin Taibora, knockout, Andrei Arlovski split decision, and then Chase Sherman knockout. So the Ivanov and Arlovski fights kind of didn't really stick out. Which worth to mention, those fights were split decision wins, meaning one judge out of the 3 judges at least seen the fight for the opponent. Blagna Ivanov, boxer. Andrei Arlovski, always known as a striker. So the 2 strikers out of those last 4 wins, or out of those key 4 wins, stayed in the fight with him. Chase Sherman, also a striker, but very new, young guy, not at the top level competition like Alistair Overeem and those other guys. And then Marcin Taibora, he was able to knock him out, which is great. But again, Marcin Taibora had 4 out of 6 of his losses via knockout. Some may question his chin a little bit. So what all can you hold to that? Sakai is coming in at minus 140, I think. Rozenstruik plus 120. They're going to keep the fight standing, I believe. I don't think that he's going to try to take Rozenstruik down. Even if he does, I don't think that Cyril Gane kind of exposed that many holes in his grappling. So I think it's going to be tough. I think Rozenstruik's got decent takedown defense, and if he keeps it standing, Rozenstruik's going to probably knock out Augusto Sakai. Alistair Overeem couldn't do it. Or Alistair Overeem did, didn't he? Yeah, Alistair Overeem knocked him out. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm on the right page. I got Junior Rozenstruik easily, I think. And coming in an underdog, it's another one that's like, God, why? I don't understand the odds. I know we're a week and a half out right now, so maybe it changes a little bit before we get there, but we'll see. Rest of the card, Tanner Boser taking on Ilir Latifi. I think that's Latifi's first fight at heavyweight. unless Boser's going down to light heavyweight, but I doubt that. Francisco Trinaldo taking on Muslim Sokolov. Fucking bugs out here. Alan Patrick taking on Mason Jones. Maron Farhat taking on Myra Moros. Yusuf Salal fighting Sean Woodson. Montana De La Rosa against Ariana Lipsky. That's a great fight. Claudio Peleas taking on Jordan Levitt. Dusko Todorovic taking on Gregory Rodriguez, who is also coming in on short notice. Maricani is also looking for an opponent, Nate Landwehr. Now, I heard, for some reason, I really don't understand this, but I heard they took Maricani off the card completely. And we're talking about 2 weeks out from the fight. I've seen guys come in on 1 day, 1, 2, 3 days notice and have replacements. We've done the show on a Tuesday and have found replacements before Saturday. So I don't understand why we're a week and a half, almost 2 weeks out from fight night, and they're completely taking them off the card instead of looking for a replacement. I was really, really excited to see Americani try to continue his win streak, and Nate Landwehr, going against Nate Landwehr was going to be a great fight. It sucks that Landwehr is not going to be able to make that fight, but that was going to be a great fight. Now, of course, we won't be back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is the debut of the next season of The Ultimate Fighter, Alexander Volkanovski against Brian Ortega. That's not the reason we're not doing it next week. We're doing the predictions for 2 weeks from now, this week. So we're not going to need to come back on Tuesday. There's not going to be anything more pressing. Maybe the Ultimate Fighter thing, but it's going to be the same night. Fuck it. I'll just watch The Ultimate Fighter. We don't really got to do it again. I know most of the views come in the beginning of the video. That's why I said it in the beginning of the video. But if you're magically here, you just fast forwarded to the end. I was just kidding about the fucking link thing. But all right, yeah, I'm going to sign off the best way I know how, the same way I did last week. It's a great sign off, and it goes a little something like this.